'cause I'm beautiful. Don't hate me 'cause I'm beautiful. It's not my fault, so it's not true. Don't hate me 'cause I'm beautiful. Oh dear, dear, dear. Please permit me to. But sometimes you just gotta free yourself and do your thing because hey. Now, if you are an ardent follower of me, sexuality and health, you're gonna find out that I made this statement in just one video, and this is gonna be the second video I'm gonna be making this particular statement. So you better listen. Now, when the risk outweighs the benefits, we don't do it. Now, this is a medical term, a medical principle we gotta follow, or we follow it. So, and if the benefit outweighs the risk, well, we do it, and we just hope that the risk does not really show up, because if the benefit outweighs the risk, it means that there are just slight possibility of the risk showing forth. What am I trying to say in essence? Just follow me and you're gonna learn. Alright, so today we'll be looking at, I need drum rolls. You gotta pardon this attitude of mine because it is not going anywhere far from me anytime soon. In the next 20 years, it's still in me, with me, beside me. Okay. I love you all, that's why. So, I was, the other time I spoke about cancer, I said something about fasting, right? But this time around, we're gonna be looking at how contraceptive can actually bring forth cancer, or what relationship does cancer have with contraceptives? When I say contraceptive, the contraceptive I'm talking about is not all the types of contraceptive or all the method. It's not all, because we have the barrier method, we have different methods. The one I'm talking of is hormonal contraceptives. There are hormonal contraceptives and there are non-hormonal contraceptives. Okay, they can be artificial, like condom is artificial, but it's not hormonal. So I have the hormonal, I have the non-hormonal contraceptive. So I'm targeting that hormonal contraceptive. So now, when I stated that principle that says when the benefit outweighs the risk, you just have to stick to the stuff. Now, I just want to bring it to us in this. I want to bring it to us in this way. Do you know that the drugs that you take, paracetamol, Panadol, ibuprofen, all of them have their own side effects. They have their own side effects, but it is still dispersed because these side effects are there, yes, but they are not so bad as to kill you, right? They are not so bad as to murder you. But do you know that there are some drugs that we cannot allow you to take? Your health personnel cannot allow you to take these drugs without asking you certain questions. There are some drugs that before I give you, I'm gonna ask you, do you have high blood pressure? And if you say yes, I'm gonna tell you, no, I'm not gonna give you this drug, I'm going to change it to another drug. Now, contraceptives, are they good? Yes, they are. Very good. Lots of benefits. Now, can I use contraceptive? Anyone that I want, wake up one morning, decide to put an IUCD and stick with it, and tomorrow decide to put an implant and stick with it? Yes, you can, but that will be putting yourself in a lot more trouble than you ever think. because it is not all type of hormonal contraceptive that is advisable to be used by just anybody with any medical history. So how does contraceptive work? So I'm just gonna give us generally how contraceptive work. And remember, I'm not looking at the one that does not have to do with hormones. I'm not looking at the non-hormonal contraceptives. I'm looking at the hormonal contraceptives. So we're gonna look at how contraceptives work. So number one is suppressed ovulation. So suppressing ovulation is more like eggs are not gonna be released and you're not gonna get pregnant. Number two, they thicken the cervical mucus. Thickening of the cervical mucus is going to make it so hard. You know when you are in a jungle, you are exploring the jungle, and all of a sudden you just stepped into a quicksand and you find out that you cannot come out, you cannot go back. Like you cannot proceed, you cannot retract your steps, so you're just gonna sink in. That's what the sperms experience. Sperms are trying. Oh dear. So at that point, the sperms that just launch in can only but drown. So number three, thinning of the uterine walls. So the uterus is where implantation happens. So in this case where this hormonal contraceptive thins the uterine wall, what happens is that there will be no implantation. So even if fertilization occurred, there will never ever be implantation. So the egg is just gonna wander looking for where to implant. There will be no place, no spot for implantation to happen or to occur, and before you know it, the egg dies off. And so another way that contraceptive work is, now this one is particular to a certain type of contraceptive, which is the copper IUD. Now the copper IUD, what happens is it releases the copper ion, and copper ion is very toxic to sperm. So what's gonna happen right now is once that copper IUD begins to release those ion, and there are sperm in there, trying to reach out to an egg or trying to make an entry, the copper ion, which is very toxic to the sperm, tends to kill the sperm immediately. So at the use of this one does not even give us a view where the sperm is allowed to meet any egg. So sperm dies of immediately try to enter. How then does contraceptive possibly relate with cancer? How do they work hand in hand? How? That's where I'm going to debunk certain lies, and of course that is where I'm going to make you understand what this looks like. It may not be what you think. You have been thinking in a very far way, very far direction, so I need to come right back and listen to what I've got to say, right? So now, how does it happen? How are they related? So we have to start with, that is the reason why I said earlier, you don't just decide to take pills or take injections because they are at your disposal, you can always get them. No, you don't. You need to reach out to your health care personnel, you need to reach out to your nurse, you need to reach out to your doctor and get their view before making use of any hormonal contraceptive pills. Emphasis on hormonal contraceptive pills or method. So what am I saying in essence? Many people are already at risk of cancers. What do I mean? Now, cancer can be hereditary. Cancer can be as a result of certain lifestyle already. So we find out that there are some people that, before they turned 13, they have been smoking. Before they turned 13, they have been drinking. Before they turned 13, they have been living a lifestyle that they should not. What am I trying to say? They are massively obese. And of course, what they eat is nothing to write home about. So remember that what you eat, what you drink, gives rise to what you are, or what you are gonna become, or what you are becoming. So now for some people that hereditary, they are already at risk. And now they started so early to make use of contraceptive pills. I bet you, if you had 50 years to live without the cancer showing forth or without the cancer manifesting, making use of contraceptives is going to speed up. It's going to speed up the possibility of cancers finding its way, or finding grounds to manifest, finding grounds to play out in you. Now, because contraceptives have to do with multiplication or reduction of certain cells in order for certain things to be in place when they should not be in place. What am I really saying? Earlier I had to tell you how contraceptive works. You thought I was not going to make use of it? Now I'm making use of it. So that if you didn't listen to that one, go back and listen to it. Yes. So, alright, pardon me. Alright. Now, contraceptives have to do mostly with multiplication or reduction of certain cells in order for certain things to be achieved and for your ovulation not to be met up with, or your cervical mucus to be very thick, or your uterine wall to be very thin, in order to prevent pregnancy, in order to prevent fertilization, in order to prevent ovulation. So that for these people that already they are at risk, they are under the class called the at risk class. At risk. So already they have chances, vulnerability, maybe inborn, that is hereditary, where cancer can find its foot and plant itself and begin to grow and multiply. And now these same people started making use of contraceptives. That is where you find out that at that point where division was meant to take place in order to build up more cervical mucus, or at that time where division was supposed to be withheld in order to thin cervical, in order to thin uterine walls, that is the particular phase, the particular place, because you can only find a cell multiplying abruptly, a cell multiplying without taking a pause. If I have chance, I'm gonna walk us through cell growth and cell multiplication, the actual phase that the cell is supposed to take in growing or in multiplying. It's at that point that you find malignant cells, cancerous cells. That is where they come and then they begin to multiply abruptly. And of course, they cannot stop multiplying. They don't obey the pause phase, the phase at which every cell take a break and stop multiplying till another command is given to continue or to start afresh or to divide again. So if you are at risk, when you come and we ask you questions, you come for you come to adopt a means of contraceptive. We ask you certain questions, and those questions are what determines if we go ahead. And of course, we tell you the cons and the pros when we tell you the cons and the pros, we also give you a chance to make your own choice. We also give you a chance to make your own choice. That is the reason why it's very important that the couple involved come together. I mean, your husband and your wife. So if you are a single and you're just so interested in being sexually active, but don't want to get pregnant, you want to do the thing, but you don't want to get the reward of doing the thing. When you come around, it will still be given to you. But of course, if you start this early to make use of contraceptive, how long are you going to live without cancer? I need you to ask yourself that question. If you are a teenager, if you are in your 18s, you're in your 17s, and you're taking pills already, I need you to ask yourself this question. How long are you going to live without cancers? And how long are you going to struggle with cancer? So how do I now cope? If I don't want to get pregnant, I am married, and okay, it seems like in the lineage, one or two persons have gone down with cancers, and you're like, maybe it's in the lineage, maybe it's hereditary. How do we help the situation? So that is where you have to be familiar with your period. You just have to adopt the tracking method, or you can adopt abstinence, or you can adopt basal body temperature method, where you check your basal body temperature, which signifies when you must have ovulated. I'm gonna walk us down that corridor pretty much soon. You can also check your cervical mucus. Your cervical mucus have a way of telling us if you just ovulated or you did not ovulate, or you are in your sick period. So it's a whole lot of big, vast topic, but we're gonna surmount the mountain, possibly. I pray the Lord help me. Alright, see, just look here. I love you all, and the best thing you could ever do in this life is to live your life and walk out of this life knowing that you lived it not in pains, or you walked out of this life not in pains, right? So you don't want going down with cancer at age 20 something, because hey, I've got this patient, she was 24, she was down with cancer, and it was cancer of the breast. So I'm not sharing fables, I'm not sharing moonlight tales, I'm telling you something that is happening. Alright? So you gotta sit up and you gotta take a decision right now. I love you all.